Find functional hilarity at the Biffa Emporium. Girl, it's what I heard. Allegedly, it's just the word. Allegedly, it's on the street. Allegedly, I sing to the beat. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly, lee, lee, lee. Allegedly. All right, well, Carlos King has given us another episode, so let's tear it apart. Oh, we talking about selling Tampa? You know what? I'ma just do Reasonably Shady. I'ma skip it because I could only get through one heifersode. That show was more bust than business. Now, this episode is called Marriage is Shady. How would either of you know? Y'all have been in dead marriages for so long, your marriages no longer count. Girl, y'all got married before credit scores. Y'all got married when housing was affordable. Y'all got married when college degrees mattered. Please. So we open with our Reasonably Shady moment, and Giselle is still whining about her landscapers. Honey, if you don't like them, why you been using them for 10 years? 'Cause you're cheap? I bet it's 'cause you're cheap. Giselle, you think weeds being a foot high is making your house look crazy? No, it's the uncohesive architecture, darling. You look like you're broke. You've been looking broke. Since you was begging Jamal for child support. Since you showed up to BravoCon looking like Sindel. I thought Hank was just your style. Rob says she doesn't have a Reasonably Shady moment because she can't even think straight because she's so busy. No, honey, you can't think straight because you ain't straight. You can't think straight because of your femininity. So Giselle has some deer that are eating her flowers, and some salon owner told her to take some human hair and put it on the flowers. Where would Giselle get human hair? You know, she's been wearing synthetics since school days. So Rob was excited that Jen and Ben were back together. I'd be more worried about Juan if I were you, especially now that Michael is single and on the hunt. I just can't imagine why Rob Dixon, of all people, would care about a heterosexual relationship. You know, this episode reminds me of Kaya. Next caller, next caller, next caller, because you ain't talking about shit. Girl, we 11 minutes into the episode, and all they done is gone over J-Lo's old ring. But at least they're not talking about their crappy costume jury. And I do mean jury. So Rob Dixon gets to talking about Cam, and she really speaking from experience. She said, you know, now that his career over, he gonna have to bring more to the table than money. But he's so used to being catered to as a star and athlete that she understands where he's coming from. I'm sure your masculine ass would. Rob is a card-carrying member of Vaginas for the Patriarchy. Oh, Rob is out here defending him with a sword and shield. What is wrong with Cam Newton wanting his woman to cater to him? You whine about Juan not wanting to wipe her ass if he had a new baby, but it's okay for Cam Newton to get catered to because I guess he got the coin. Well, shouldn't you be catering to Juan because you blew his coin? I will say Rob has a point to Cam's perspective. Because he's so rich and been so celebrated, he hasn't lived in reality for a minute. So he's going to have an out-of-touch opinion. It may not be right, but it's his shit. We ain't got to deal with it. I know, I won't. So apparently they wouldn't let Rob Dixon into a Louis Vuitton store in Florida. I mean, they've seen your bankruptcy. They've seen your tax debt. I wouldn't let you in either. Juan was probably in there and he didn't want to be bothered with you. I could see it. They told her she needed an appointment. Now, because of the Vivi, some places are by appointment. Because of robberies, some high-end places are by appointment. But I think they just saw your debt coming. They saw your cheap cap and your cheaper shoes, and they said, she gonna get the rugs dirty. You know you would. They let her in the Gucci store, but Gucci shit's cheap. It falls apart, that's why. So we finally, 29 minutes in, get to the meat of the show. A BuzzFeed article where married couples tell the brutal truths to unmarried couples before they take the plunge. You know, let me get this straight, or straight-ish, because it's dealing with Rob Dixon. You jumping off your own show and a guest is getting on? What you got to do? You couldn't stick around for another 10 minutes? Giselle, I wouldn't tell nobody I started my marriage with marriage counseling. Clearly, y'all weren't listening. So Giselle gonna say Jamal got upset with her because she wouldn't get her nails done when she had young kids. Well, your husband was stupid. Boy, they finished that episode with the snooze. They just went back to Cam Newsom. And if they had knew something, they would have known this was boring. And let's talk about some other shit. Kevin Hart launches a new media venture with a $100 million investment from private equity backers. Well, they have no taste in comedy. I don't care how much money you throw at the man, he ain't funny. They've got a project coming, Me Time, on Netflix with Mark Wahlberg and Regina Hall. Don't nobody want to see Marky Mark's racist ass? Child, if you want us to look at a honky, pick a better honky. Get Chris Pine. He ain't done nothing to nobody. I like him. Chris Evans. Get one of the Chris's. Get one that doesn't have a hate crime on his record. You see? And this is what they're investing $100 million in. They could invest $1 million in me, I'd give you a better show. And speaking of honkies, Megan Fox admits to occasionally drinking Machine Gun Kelly's blood for ritual purposes. What is ritualistic about getting hepatitis C? What's ritualistic about that? And he looks a little happy, too. That's the blood you gonna drink. Why are you drinking blood to begin with? I've never wanted to drink blood. Now, I would eat fried placenta because that's nutritional. But blood? Blood? Not human. Not human. I mean, I have had very rare steak, so I can't act like I've never eaten blood. But not human. Child, everybody getting into this family feud with Benzino and Coy. Now Jazz Anderson has done a diss track because Coy got into it with Mama Tammy. Now, I don't know why Tammy at this point is going back and forth with anybody on Instagram or Twitter, because you have your own show, your own business. You are booked, busy, and don't have to be bothered with the basketball biddies. Jazz addresses Coy's debut album sales, but Jazz ain't never had an album. You album free. You've been trying to get your rap out since Tammy's been on Basketball Wives, yet the audience still turns a deaf ear to your music, and you gonna whine about Coy being more successful. Look, just because Benzino knows how to nepotize better than your mama, you need to take that up with your mama. Jazz, when you rap, you sound like a thick-tongued male. Coy said to Tammy, the problem with y'all now is y'all don't know how to be the adult and let the kids be the kids. You talk about they minding their business while you in the comments of the shade room talking about my pappy. They should be embarrassed just as much as I am. All Tammy really said, though, is when 50 got in it and said he was going to put Coy on one of his shows, Tammy said this is going to be a mess because 50 ain't rap too tight, which is true. Coy could have let it go, but Coy is a kid. Tammy's response was, oh Lord, pumpkin Coy. Immaturity is displayed when you can't even recognize when someone is on your side. I commented on your dad coming at 50 who is supporting you. They are both adults, by the way. And for clarity, everyone comments in the shade room, so why do I have to be quiet when you don't? That is such a Tammy Roman response. Well, I think this is all to get Coy's album the press and promo she needs. Judge Mathis has landed a family reality show, and I don't know about that because he talks about crackheads too much. He can smell the crack on you. He loves to call out a crackhead in his court on camera. Is that really going to be good for a functional family or a dysfunctional one? Oh, it's going to be him and his grown children. I thought it was going to be him talking about other families, calling out their crackheads. Cousin Crack, Aunt Cocaine, and Brother Booster. I'm a peep at it. In Will Smith slap news, I know you don't care, but Jada insisted that the family continue with their vacation to India, because you know after a stunt like this, you got to go to India and eat, pray, love. Girl, he can do all the Dharma and Daishiki he want to do. We still gonna remember that slap-a-boo. And speaking of, Chris Rock's mom has gotten into the act. The whole family is piling on Will Smith. Now that's togetherness. That's a unit. The rocks are solid. She said, I told someone when Will slapped Chris, he slapped all of us. But he really slapped me. Oh my God, there really are 10 Rock brothers. She is a mother of 10. I thought he was just being hyperbolic. He really got 10 brothers. Will, they're gonna whoop your ass. And she said he still ain't personally called to apologize. Chris Rock would give him his ass to kiss. I think Chris Rock would start cussing him out and never stop. I can't wait for the Chris Rock HBO special where we talk about the Smiths. Cause Jada, girl, you gonna get it now. I'm sorry, but as a comedian, I'm going after your whole family. I'm talking about the kids. I'm talking about everybody. I'm going to get paid. You want to slap me in public, it's going to go down in history. All right, we both going down together. We going to talk about your bird chest, little son. We going to talk about all of it. We going to have Alcina write the intro track. We going to get Dwayne Martin's private confessions. We going to talk about all of it. Let's talk about that $1 million loan to Dwayne Martin. Let's talk about it. Let's open our mouths, and talk about it. In other This Ain't News, Azalea Banks was supposed to collab with Doechii, a viral TikTok star, but now Azalea don't want to put out the track. This has happened with Gaga, Beyonce, Katy Perry. She just likes to shoot herself in the foot. I'm surprised she can walk at this point. Heifer got more bullets in her feet than an arms store. In Kardashian news, Pete Davidson's inner circle is advising him not to appear on the Kardashians, and I believe them. Don't do it, honey. Don't do it. It didn't work for Lamar. It didn't work for Chris Humphries. It ain't working for Kanye. You will be next. Your high ride will come to a crashing halt. You see what happened with Scott Disick. It don't matter your complexion. They will steal any man's essence they can get. Look at Rob. They've done it to family. Family. We ain't even going to talk about the other one. I'm not going to bring up either name. But just think. I wouldn't do it, boo. I wouldn't do it. And speaking of TikTok, Teyana Taylor is going to sue popular TikTok who put up a blind item that everybody guessed was Teyana Taylor. That basically Iman had been cheating on her and she had been doing coke to cope with it, but ended up overdosing. Do I believe it? No. Do I believe Iman cheats? Well, I mean, when you have threesomes, I think they have a different version of what monogamy is. Because I'm sorry, a stud like Teyana, you ain't going to tell her when she can't bag a woman. She'd walk up to Rob Dixon and snatch her by her boxers. Yes, she would. Yes, she would. So I don't really know how it would work with them, but I do know you have to be careful with insinuate. But I will say, I don't see Teyana being upset that Iman cheated. She just don't give me that kind of woman. She gives me, I'll whoop your ass. I'm a beat that ass. She might just whoop. She might just kick. She might just baby, but baby, she might peg your ass. I can see Yana with the strap where she knows that, Iman might want to go somewhere for more traditional regime. So I have a tough problem seeing. It could happen, but they just give me an open tee. Then they say on the 28th of November, us having to post on her Insta why her concert was canceled, making it look like her body shut down from exhaustion. Now that did happen to Teyana around that time. I'm going to let a court of law suss this out, but this is why everything over here is allegedly. No dates, just tea. Allegedly. Don't you sue me. All right, well, those were today's top stories from this bottom, but I will see you soon for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Actually, no, for Jersey. We got to get to Jersey first. It was the finale. Alleged what? Alleged who? Allegedly. Don't blame, don't sue. Allegedly.